Achsil Farbrengen kann aufstehen, kann machen, kann nicht aufstehen. Und bei Chsidim weiß man, wie hier schon da ist, wie hier der Kost. Wie so vielleicht der Kost da mal sagen, aber darf auch sagen, alle Kost, darf man Sachen sein, oder mehr Chalov, nur darf man Sachen sein, Christ soll mit Leich sein, alle Kost. Christ soll mit der Farbe geht schlafen, nach wir sitzen zwischen Chsidim. Und wie hier der Kost ist schon da, wie Seine Velano. Es ist nicht nur das, was wir haben, der Munnen in der Haftacha. Es ist nicht nur Teres Achsidus, sondern das Achsidus stehen zusammen. Jede Achtes von Achsidus bringt das, was man da haben. Es sitzt bei Achsidus Farbrengen, hat viel Rabbi bei Iyar. Es kann jemand so, der Rabbi schreibt in der HMJ, in die Kinder HMJ, die Young Scholars Pocket Calendar. Es ist die gleiche Sache zu lernen jeden Tag. Als bei Iyar, das Schule von Binnen bis Amigdash. Steht jetzt bei der Schule von Binnen bis Amigdash und darf beten, es soll sein, Binnen bis Amigdash Ashlishi. Na neven von Khatkhila Riber. Bis Migdash Shlishi Sheni, das beefsh beginnen, dass man keine Shalom geben na Riber. Aber der bis Migdash Shlishi, das ist Khatkhila Riber mamish. Noch noch sein bepel mamish. So da Grace ist zwischen Anash und die letzte 24 Jahre. Als das schon sich ausgedrückt in Pel mamish. Wenn geht zu 80 Chsidim. Nicht nur die Buden, weil das ist allein eine gute Sache, aber wir können nicht bleiben bei dem. Von den Buden geworden meistens bepeilt, nicht in ein Platz, nicht in zwei Plätze, und Rav, Hanelem, Al-Hagolui, wir wissen schon etliche Älter, so da noch eine Sache Älter, was die Zukunft von denen, in Jahren mit Peil Mama schon 80 Chsidim. Was nicht da, kein Sofik bedaver, als da Chsidim stehen zwischen sich bei Achdus, I das geire man naches ruach Rav am Reben. Rabbi Schwei ol vashalom, hat gehad sein Lashenes. Der Mordas, der Chavre Besen Zedek, Rav Schwei, und so lange Iyar. Und gehad gewisse Signunes vielleicht nutzen allemal derselbe Nusser, derselbe Sprach, derselbe Atheist. And for some people it's boring. I know what he's going to say, he's come to the Farbrengen, he's going to say, Baruchim Aboim, B'Shem Hashem, he's sitting there to Shachsidim, no. Real people don't change their message every single time. Now, people that are presenters, they need to speak, they need to give a presentation, so they need to see was gefällt dem Elam, what people are happier to hear. Gave pretty much the same speech by every single bar mitzvah, and every Farbrengen he started with the same nekuda. And one of the things that he started almost every Farbrengen, der Rebbe hat gesagt, gewaltige Nachas Ruach, wie der Rebbe sagt, dass Chassidim sitzen zusammen. And what was he talking about? Wir sitzen 770, und leider nicht alle sitzen in 770. So wir hatten noch in Iyar für Chiyuv. And the few people that are sitting 770, which is probably less than the 136 participants that we have now on Zoom, or maybe by now it's 146 or 56, I'm not up to date. Much less were in 770. Someone just showed me to 167, B'diuk. So, there might have been less people in 770 at the time, aber Chassidim sitzen zusammen, der Rebbe hat gesagt, gewaltige Nachas. And if you look at Rabbi Schwei's face, when he says, the Rebbe hat gesagt, gewaltige Nachas, Molle Simcha ve'eira. Der Rambam sagt, HaChachim is Nike, Bedaite, B'machol, B'shtiyos, mit 10 Sachen. HaKadosh Panav Ansabay. Rabbi Schwei speaks about the Nachas for them, you see it on his face. I was sitting with my kids Friday night and we were talking about Rabbi Schwei. So one of my kids said that we would sit in the front by davening and we would fight, Rabbi Schwei would get very upset, he almost start crying. My kids would fight. He was crying, not me. Because he sees kids fight and he would come and he would try to be makar of them and make them feel good, v'chulu, v'chulu. And he knew their names. The Rebbe had a gewaldig nachas ruach when we were by Achdus. There's no question. And nicht nur the Rebbe had a gewaldig nachas, and what do we want in our life? The only thing that we really want is getting nachas dem Rebbe. The biggest thing of a chassid, the biggest sheaf of a chassid is as Ishaniske Rebbe ligrom lechanachat. Das ist, mehr wie dem ist nicht da. Das sieht das. Aber der Rebbe ist ein zufrieden. Und kemuven, was meint der Rebbe ist zufrieden? Gula mit ist Vashlema. Und Gula mit ist Vashlema, der Rebbe ist zufrieden. Und das ist echt der Beschass mit Achdus. Wie der Rebbe sagt, Ilo hoyu askane Chabad, kol askane Chabad muchad, und Mashiach ba bekvar. Bei Anash sollen sein zusammen, wollten gewinnt zusammen, weil Mashiach schon lange da gewinnt. Da haben mehrere Eres, und das ist eine Sache, was wir tornisch lassen, der Eres wegfallen. anybody who's listening to this who doesn't know what I'm talking about, this is probably one of the only times that WhatsApp comes in handy. One of the few times. It's a good idea to find out through your social media channels or non-social media channels what is going now on ba'olam kulay. And like I said, there may be only 2-3 things that we know about, but there's phone calls are being made. People that haven't spoken to each other for months, for years. It's a tremendous thing. It's a tremendous nachas. We lost so much in the last few weeks. But when you see Chassidim are coming together so strongly, it is unbelievable. It's heartwarming is an understatement. And if I'm talking about Rabbi Schwei, Rabbi Chassidim, we don't give Hespedim. We don't believe in that. And Rabbi Schwei did not like Hespedim and didn't like to make a tzimis from him. And I know things about him that he didn't want to Achamei Ve'esrim, we should make a tzimis out of him. But the Rebbe said, and Tavshin Yud, the Rebbe said, as a kvetshmer, the shloisha lebchi v'shiva lehesped, and the Mela, as a kvetshmer, well, Chassidim, we don't say Hespedim, but Chazang Sipurim. So Sipurim we could say, Hespedim we don't say, but Sipurim we say. I don't know exactly what's the chiluk in the Sipur and the Hesped, and please forgive me if I chas v'shalom move from the Sipur into the Hesped mode a bit too much. And just give me a virtual zoom on the virtual kick on the back, then I should go back into Sipur mode, not into Hesped mode, not Nishvi HaMasnayim. First l'chaim. One of the things that Shwei was very, very involved in is helping people. And a bit too much. It bothered me, I have to tell you. I came to him some and I said, please don't Vav, you're wasting your time. Nothing's going to come out of it. I'm being realistic. I know what we're talking about. I'm trying to be the Kalim the ticket, and he's being as a tell you, whatever, this person is going to come back to you again. Nothing's going to happen. When they go, just don't. And he told me many times, ich kann nicht. I can't. The Yid wants me to help him. And the reason I agreed to take this Rabbanus, he said it to me so many times, the reason I agreed to take this job is I can't help him mention. And this, like I said, Rabbi Schwei was not loyish dvarim, was not a man of words. He didn't say the long, winded drushes. He's not a speaker. He's not a presenter. He's not a person that you bring down, you pay him $10,000, and he makes money off speaking. That wasn't his forte. But he was a real person. Ish emes, no question. A real, genuine person, straight out there from Samarkand, from Peking, from Finland, from wherever he was. And he used to say this so many times. He said the same speech to me, that that Mendel told him once that when you're playing soccer, I think it's soccer, I'm not so bucky in the games, but I believe it's soccer. It is soccer. When the ball is thrown to you, that means it's your turn to give it a kick. Well, the ball was rolled over into your court, into your goal, into your v'chulu. So he said, Mendel told him, they sent you the ball of Rabbanus. I think, maybe I'm not repeating this correctly, that means it's his achrayas and it's his shlichus. So he said it very, very clearly. Why is it his shlichus? Because he likes to help people. He Pasha likes to do favors to people. And he did favors to people that he suffered because of it, and I suffered because of it, and we suffered because of it, but he couldn't help himself. He Pasha wanted to help people. That was his reaction. And you know what? Sometimes it's worthwhile to achas the taich is that he does a favor for someone else, even though he suffers. And he doesn't make cheshbonos when it comes to doing favors to people. He did favors to people in the office. He did favors at home. He had people staying in his house. He helped them out with gashmis, with money. He helped them out with ruchnis, with advice. He spent hours and hours and hours. It takes up so much space. It's something called brain space. So Rebbetzins know, Rabbanim maybe don't have the right oasis, but the Rebbetzins see the Rabbanim. The Mishnah says, Harabanis mekaberes baleha. So the Rabbanis buries the people that have the Rabbanis. So there's a famous vertical Harabanis, the Rebbetzin mekaberes baleha buries her husband. So there's something called the Harabanis, the Rebbetzin. And Rebbetzins know that the problem that the husbands have is that they have no brain space left. Because when they come home, it's not as if they don't have time. They don't have space in their brain. Your brain is compartmentalized. I'm saying the word properly. So how much space can you have if your brain is full with all the other inyanim, you're listening to me, but you're not really listening to me. You can't. Rabbi Schwei there's a concept in it's not a chassidus, no, in Elam Haza, that you're supposed to take a guild bag and leave it in the office and not bring it home. So typically at work, you finish work and take a guild bag from work, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a hospital chaplain, whether you're a musician, whether you're a bachar in yeshiva, whether you do communal work, whatever it is you finish your job, and then you take all your guild bag, your knapsack, and you take it home with you. And karagul, you take it home, and b'derech you don't do anything with it at home, so you don't get to it, and then you bring it back to school the next day, or to whatever your job is, and so you're supposed to leave your guild bag at work. I'll leave it by the door, and you come home, you're a free person. He took it with him at home. There was no mechitza between his home. People came to his house, disturbed him at home. And I know away from Prat Yosef, we spoke a lot. We spoke a tremendous amount. And he gave me more time than really he has to give, or whatever. It's a separate discussion. And he was very, very makbid, so careful not to, Chas Hashem is going to say anything, will be a begin me. And I told him, I don't know, you bent over backwards. You're trying to help me. You're not really helping me because I don't really care one way or another. I don't know why he wanted to be ma'ir to me about something. I once saw he said he made a whole gedreita. He wanted to criticize me about something, which he felt, not because he wanted to criticize me, because he felt it'd be better for me, for the Rabbanis. And he made so many pulpulim and drays and turns and twists to be able to say this to me. Chas Hashem not to be pageh covered with someone else, to be so menschlich, so nice, so respectful. I mean, we could go on and on about this. People, there's a shear for patience. There's a certain shear. How much patience? Everybody has a what do you call it? No? A bar, a limit. Well, that's till where my patience goes. It's like someone once told me it was Erev Pesach before people come. It's a minig, modern minig in Crown Heights. Baruch Hashem, this year we didn't have this minig. Well, unfortunately, because of the matzav, that people come, the minig is when it comes, saves my beer comes, then you come to the bezdin, you drop it from Yechidus Chamas forms. I don't know where this comes from, what this is based on, chulu. So there's people that come to the office and are coming, mamish, you're trying to sit with the guy and make sure you do it properly. So it's a serious achrayis, and make sure all the kinyanim, there's about 7 or 8 kinyanim, I don't remember by heart right now. I think it's 7 kinyanim that we make with the guy and make sure everything is done properly. And Erev Pesach in the morning. You couldn't sell licham, so shchedish, and business, and gimel, listen. All you have to do is just come fill out a form, gegangen weiter. Not right now. Klappt auf dem Tier and ring the bell, v'chulu. So someone was in to us and he told me, Rabbi Braun, I see your patience has a limit. Because I told him, hello, please leave. Rabbi Schwei had unlimited patience. I'm a shugan, I'm a shugan. You know what a shugan means? They're such kind of people. So a person who is pashut, nish normal, pshutik hamashma, he screamed at him, cursed him out. If the master would be there, he would do his job, literally pick the guy up and take him out of the office. But he wasn't there. And if he tried to, Rabbi Schwei would tell him, love. And the guy comes to the office, abuses the Rav, thoroughly abuses him. This happened once, this happened again, this happened so many times. Curses him out, tells him off on everything that he's doing wrong. I hear the screaming going on. It's not Rabbi Schwei screaming, the other person is screaming. And Rabbi Schwei is seeing what he could do to help the guy. There's a limit. Wiffle the sheer. How much can you go and take abuses on? The guy comes, imi baboyis, comes into your office, tells you off, and you told him last time what to do, and he didn't listen. And then he comes again, and again. And you can make a cheshbon the Gedushi. He's taking up time, and this time could be used for the killer. The time and the killer has to be divided. The time for the killer is divided equally between Meshugayim and non-Meshugayim. Okay, most of them are Meshugayim, because most of them are Meshugayim now. That was said al derech hatzachas. But you need to give some time for the non-Meshugayim. They need to be able to have some time too. And these guys taking away time from which could be used, because it's impossible. You can't split yourself so much. A tremendous amount of patience. If you talk about Hirada we can take, people are quarantined right now. In a certain amount of time, how much you could stay at home? How much can you stay at home and not go out of your house till you snap? Okay, so some people snap after the first minute. Some people after the first hour. Some people after the first day, after the first week, after the first month. But now we're all past snapping time. And the government is also snapped. Well, they snapped way before, but that's a separate issue. So, okay, no, the guy calls me today. He's not let it go out of the house. It's sakonas nefesh. I got out of my house, he tells me. He has issues, I don't know what it is, immunosuppressed or whatever. He's not allowed to go out. He knows it's sakana. He's in his house, locked up with his wife and his kids, and they haven't gone out of the house for 6 weeks. And his wife says, I can't anymore. I can't. I'm going out. I can't. If she's going to go out of the house, he might die. Okay, but I'm dying like this, whatever. Okay, so she wasn't such a bad woman. But she said, we need to go out for a drive. And he calls me up, and he tells me, I don't know what to do. I think we go for a drive, you make one hole, a gap, that's it. I don't know what the next thing is going to be. Today, unfortunately, a few days ago, passed away. I don't know if people know who this is. One was in charge of Matnat Chaim. What's his name? Rabbi Heber? Something like that. Anybody know the name? Everybody's muted over here. The teachers are very happy with the current situation. They don't know when the kids come back to the class how to be able to mute the kids. So, I think his name is Rabbi Heber. Anyhow, unfortunately, how did he pass away? Because he made one exception. He has very serious issues. He made one exception. His children and his daughter and son-in-law and Enikel, or son and daughter-in-law and Enikel, came to him in his little Enikel as a carrier. And that was then. And they're publicizing it. They're passing out the message because they want other people to be careful. And this person doesn't know what to do. Should I go out in the car? Is that okay? Not okay. Whatever. I told him, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to give him medical advice. I don't think it's the end of the world. You go in the car with a mask. Whatever. It's a separate discussion. But people can. There's a limit. I can stay in my house locked up. How much can you be locked up? Everybody has a certain amount of patience. And their patience is being tested right now. Not that. Some people, if they don't have them in, they go crazy. Some they go crazy when they have with them in you. But some people, when they have with Adam in the how much can I go down with Yichidus? It's way too much for me. I can't handle it. And go without a mikveh, that's way too much. But being locked up at home, and with all my kids in the house, like what did the famous Batchan say? That every year I help my wife for Pesach. I feel better. I can't help her for Pesach. She always tells me the best help is you should go to shul. And this year I wasn't able to help her because I couldn't go to shul. So for some people, this is it's a good lesson to learn. Somebody with an endless amount of patience. I don't know where the Mishnah says there's 4 middes kasha lichas the kasha l'ratzis noich lichas v'noich l'ratzis. So I tell this often to chesanim, to kalas, people in shidduchim. Someone who's kasha lichas v'kasha l'ratzis. So you meet them in a shidduch, everything is perfect. None of you meet them in a shidduch. You talk to their friends. I also told this girl is a perfect girl. She never gets angry. Of course, she never gets angry. She's kasha lichas. She gets angry only once a lifetime, when she turns 36, and 4 months, there's a certain day when she gets angry. When you day the asel and the rega, the Eibush is kais, and she works out, I don't know exactly, based on the mazolas, she gets angry when it mamish hits the peak. But once she gets angry, you'll never get hear the end of it. She's kasha l'ratzis. You don't know about the kasha lichos part, why? Because none of her friends know about it either, because it didn't happen yet. It hardly happens. But if it happens, the person... So everybody has their share, has their temperament, has their personality, a person with unlimited amount of patience. And he was an ish takif. He was pashto ish takif, there's no question. He was able to scream when he had to scream. He was able to zog the pasuk when he was zogging the pasuk. But I don't know, it's a tremendous shil of hafachim. Everybody has chesroinus, we all have chesroinus. But it's important to learn from a person's miles. And beret nach wegen dinin ha-iskashrus. Iskashrus im Reben. Rabbi Schwei told me, I have some recordings that I made of Rabbi Schwei, and I have to find them, and maybe I'll publicize them. And I actually asked him, for the shus, we don't do this kind of things. He said, okay. He taught me a few different nigunim that he heard, a few stories. I said, I want to record it. And he said, no problem. So bleiben. So Rabbi Schwei shared with me once about how he took his class from Montreal. I don't know the years. I'm sure the family might know better the years. He took his class. I don't remember right now. I could find the recording if I have it. I don't know if they were 10, 12, 13. I have no idea. I don't remember. Little kids took from Montreal to go to the Rebbe, took the whole class to the Rebbe to go to Montreal. From Montreal to go to the Rebbe. I think it was for Yud Shvat. It was freezing cold. The winter, they didn't know what to do by the oil. They should go without shoes because it's going to be freezing cold. And when they should about eating, he asked the Rebbe about all those things. He took a class to the Rebbe because today's day just no kunst. Today people come from the Rebbe, I don't know, the same way you brush your teeth, you go to the Rebbe. It's part of life. But in those days, to schlep from my shul, take a class, and schlep from my shul, we're talking about it's a fortune also. It's a lot of money, schlep all those kids. I don't know if they came by plane or they came by bus. I don't remember. Either way, it was a fortune. And something he convinced the entire class and the parents, they should come to the Rebbe. It's a gekocht in Rebbe, was will the Rebbe, it's kashes im Rebbe, Besura Sagu'ula, Nevu Sagu'ula, popular, nahid, but not know anything about popularity. It was not his cup of tea, popularity. I don't know. I don't want to go into Hesped mode over here. We're sitting about Farbrengen. Farbrengen is about that we should learn Samai Sashriyasin. He was a human being, like every other human being. He had shortcomings, he had positives, he had negatives. And we're also human beings. And the same way human beings that have shortcomings could have such tremendous milas. He was a bust of a dam, like a real bust of a dam. Yilud Isha, Kipshute. Right? And same way Yilud Isha could be so tremendous amount of Am Yisrael. Right now, Am Yisrael, the Tzav HaShah, there's no question. That is the Tzav HaShah. To dig and to try to find what's Shalom Bayis for me is a nightmare. Dintoides, it's a nightmare. It's so annoying. It takes so much patience, and you come and you feel drained. You feel you can't. You feel it as you, and it's a person who's in that age, and hardly at koich. In the last few months, he could hardly get up the steps. And yeah, it wasn't so easy to arrange with Askan and whatever, and people have to go through all the bureaucracy, to make sure. I think he used it. I seen the individual that arranged it over here in front of me on the screen. Individual with Askan was not part of the Vanakol. Arranged to have a chairlift to go up the steps. And because every time he went up the steps, the doctor said it's sakanas nefashos him to go up the steps and go down the steps. In the office, but he said he has to do it. It's part of his job. I saw him. I saw what's happening. I saw him in action, going up the steps, and then till he gets back to himself, he had to sit and recuperate for a very long time, at least a half an hour, and people follow him as he goes up the steps. And said, I'm Schwei, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. What do you think the bracha when you make two foods together? It's an important question for right now. And then while he's going up the steps in his mamsh, he could hardly breathe. This happened every single day until somebody went mamsh a couple of weeks ago. I believe he used it only 3 or 4 times. You're on video over there, I see you. You could not do it with your head. Is it 3 or 4 times? The person who arranged it is there, right in front of me. Well, he's... Reb Michal, at least show with your fingers, because you're muted. Smiling. And I don't know how many times he used it, just a few times he used it. Finally arranged. It was arranged that he could go up in this chairlift up and down. And he didn't want it. He didn't want to have it in the Bezdin. And I was interested, you should do something for him. And when I told the person involved, tell him that there's a donor that's giving money only for this, he's not going to give him for anything else, and the money is there and it's spent already. I don't know exactly what the techniques used that he should be asking. He's not interested in it. Don't make me. I don't want to stand out. I'm not saying you're doing something for me. It's not. Whatever. But the guy came to the office every single day, schlepped himself up, and people know, people care, people call up, and whatever. It's available. There's a number you can call, so you call, and if there's someone a cup, well, it doesn't cost money. You don't have to pay money for masakal. It's a free service, so why not do it? Anyhow, there's a lot we can learn. We're sitting over here. It's a zman when we have to focus, like we said on Ahavas Yisrael. We're sitting here in Yemosei Mashiach. We're sitting here ready. The Rebbe says there was already this Galas of Mashiach. But as a bitter is Galas, there was already this Galas of Mashiach. And with Nid Kabbal's Pnei Mashiach, and it's a very bitter 20 years that we're sitting over here. So it's a time we have to be mechazik ourselves and Ahavas Yisrael. What can we do to reach out to other people? What can we do in Pirsim Besura Sagola? What can we do in our Skashus to Rebbe? And all of that in the way of L'chatchila Ribber. L'chatchila Ribber. Schwei was a Yid that believed in Besura Sagola, B'chol HaTekef, and Nishn Spal Gevar from Garnished, on the spileless. So let's take that message, and the Eibush Halkin should look at Adas Achsidim that is sitting over here very, very verbittered, and Eibush have Rachmanas on us, and let us see this Galas of the Rebbe, L'Enkel, L'Kitz of Ram Sheikh Nefer, L'Tzadikim Kam L'Tchila, L'Hu B'Reisha, L'Veseicha, L'Tekef Miyad Mamash, L'Chaim, L'Chaim.